Hi, this is Jeff from BlackpoolUnlimited.com, and today we're going to look at selling. So, what makes a good salesperson? Well, you've got your product, you believe in it, so here we go. You need to be a good listener. The less you interrupt, the more you'll learn. By asking questions and establishing needs, you're halfway through to a sale. Knowledge is power. Can you back up what you're saying with hard evidence? Always accept the buyer's got a point of view. He may have genuine concerns. Empathise, acknowledge. After all, it's their business. Try and bridge the gap between a perceived issue and the reality. You're selling what your product does for them. They just might not have seen it yet. If you get enough needs, you'll hit the bullseye. So, how do we find potential customers? Well, salesmen love lists, don't they? So, where would you find customers? Well, let's start with the obvious. People you know. Family, friends, neighbours. Get your friends to refer other people, so one becomes two. What about your current customers? Have you ever asked them? Who else do they know? Maybe you could offer a reward for any referrals that they give you. Social media groups. Local, regional, national. Online searches. Go and have a look at, any Google search engine and type in types of businesses that you're looking to gain. MailChimp. You can even pay for a list if you can't think of one yourself. Every day, of every week, of every year, add to your list. Never assume that what you've got's enough. Always look for more. Cold canvassing. That may not be the kind of thing you do. It can be cold canvassing physically, it could be over the phone, it could be via email, social media. Treat every cold canvas the same. You want information. So if you're looking for a compliment slip by going through the door, you want to know name, address, telephone number, email address, etc. It's exactly the same if you're doing it online or over the phone. Okay, so let's do a cold call. Let's go through and face that scary receptionist. You go into information gather. That's what you're going through the door for. It's non-threatening. You're not out to sell anything there and then. All you're doing is getting some information. Remember, the receptionist can be your friend or not, as the case may be. Try and impress. Look good. Show respect. Be nice. Be humorous. Flatter. Don't waste people's time, though. They're busy. The last thing they need is another jolly rep coming through the door trying to take their time up. Have a list with you of what the information you'd like to gather. Try and get the buyer's name, and if nothing else, make an appointment. Get out. Assuming you've not just walked back out of the door, now's the time to get some information. So what can we find out? So if I wanted to put a vending machine in this building, the Enterprise Centre in Blackpool, the first thing I'd need to know is how many people work there, how big's the building, what facilities do they have already, what are the opening hours, is there any facilities nearby, what's the age profile. If they're all old age pensioners, it might be they're not interested in soft drinks. On the other hand, it may be a young workforce. Who's the decision maker? Try and find out. If you can't do it physically in the call, go online, look at the pictures. You can find lots of information online about different businesses. Always remember that it's your product. You want to know everything there is to know. What you don't want to do in the middle of a sale call is say, well, I'll have to get back to you on that, I'm not quite sure. And remember, it's the benefits that are going to make that sale for you. You should never allow the customer to say, so what? You want the customer to say, I want it. Okay, so before we walk through the door to make that sale, a few things to consider. Is your vehicle, your van or your car neat and tidy? Is it clean? Is it sign written if it's a van? Don't park on double yellow lines outside. Don't dump in the car park. Are you smart? Do you look the part? You're representing your company. Yeah? You don't want the customer to think, oh dear, what's this coming through my door? Deep breath. I'm ready. I've got all my visual aids. I know my product. I know what they need. Let's go and do this. First thing to think about when you're going to introduce yourself is eye contact. Offer your hand. Let them know who you are, who you represent. Be proud. I know there's COVID at the moment and you can't necessarily do all of this, but let's assume COVID's waved its hand and gone away. Try and get your Christian name out there. Get the buyer's Christian name. Try and get on first name terms. Be proud of who you work for. Be proud of your product. Make sure the person you're talking to is a decision maker. It doesn't mean you walk out if he or she's not. What it means is you know who you're talking to. You know where the power lies. Tip: try and find something positive about the business. In other words, maybe the general ambience of the building looks really good. They spent money on it. It could be that you've noticed they've got some awards on the wall, maybe the Queen's Award for Industry. Imagine if you say to the buyer, hey, I noticed you've won an award. Queen's Award for Industry. Wow, that's fantastic. You should be so proud. What kind of difference has it made to your business? You're going to get them to talk about things that they want to talk about. They should be proud of that. You're showing interest from the very beginning. During your approach, you're talking about your product. Not what it is, but what it does. Whether it's doing something bigger, better, faster, adding value. It's not what your product is, it's what it does for them. So, presentations, give, take. Always listen. In the listening phase, we're looking for needs. Always listen more than you speak. Try and learn to listen. Practice at home. Listening buys you thinking time. It also shows respect, that you value what they're saying. It also gives you a chance to assess and answer any potential needs that may come up. Needs are vital in any sale call. If you can't establish needs, you can't proceed to a sale. If you've got some knowledge from that prior call, you should have some knowledge that will allow you to ask open questions. Things like, what kind of products do you sell here? How many people work here? What age group are they? Where do you sell your product? Where do your staff go for lunch? What kind of times do they have for lunch? All the time what you're doing is you're leading the buyer down the road to establishing the needs that allow you to present your product. Remember, a feature's what a product is. A benefit is what it does to add value. Okay, so show what you've got. If this was a vending machine, you're trying to put it into the enterprise centre, show some pictures of the vending machine, show some examples of what happens when someone puts a coin in, explain its 24/7 availability. It takes up a small amount of space, it's chilled throughout. It can actually be a profit generator. The Coca-Cola can give them an income from this machine. It might keep your staff on site because they won't need to go next door to that cafe to get a soft drink. Your staff will see it as a benefit. It's vandal proof, so you're quite safe. Nothing's going to go wrong. Throughout the presentation, test understanding. Show you've listened. Okay, I get that. So you've no refreshments. Okay, yeah. Your staff have to leave the site, right? And I presume that when they're away, that's costing you time and money. Is that correct? What you're doing is you're making sure that the two of you have a mutual understanding now of where this is going. Have your hook line ready. So if I could provide you something that stops your staff leaving the site, as well as saves you time and money, is this something that would interest you? All the time you're taking them down this path. You're going to get objections. Of course you are. There's no two ways about it. But if you've got the knowledge and you've done your research, you should be able to answer all those objections. Yeah? Always acknowledge them. Let them finish. Never, ever interrupt. Refer back to your questioning and your research. Answer fully. Ask, have I answered your question? Now you may have to do this a number of times. Stay calm. Have your answers ready. Time to close the deal. You've established some needs. Needs, and more needs. So, simple techniques. There's only 4 here. There's loads in actual fact. I mean, the bottom one is always be closing. Yeah. Direct, are you ready to order? Assumptive, Wednesday or Friday? Concession, if I can split this order into 2, have we got a deal? Objection, is there any reason why we shouldn't proceed with this sale? I mean, there are loads. You can look them up online. But practice the ones that suit you. Once you've closed the deal, remember, you want this to go further. Can I come back and see you in 4 weeks' time? I can perhaps review what we've done. Do you know anybody else who might be interested? Do you mind if I take your email address and can we keep you on our mailing list? So what have we learned? Lists are our lifeblood. Knowledge is power. It puts you in control. If you've got the knowledge about them and your product, you can answer any objection. First impressions count. They may be your last. Look good. Be respectful. Listen, and more importantly, act on what you hear. Remember, features and benefits is not what it is, it's what it does for them. Test understanding. Practice these techniques. Handle objections. Don't ignore them. Answer them. Turn these to your advantage. You know your product. You know they need it. Closing techniques, and more importantly, always be closing. Always ask for a referral. Knowledge is power. So, anyone can sell. I hope this has helped. If you want more information, come to blackpoolunlimited.com. You can contact us there, fill the contact sheet in. My name's Jeff. You can leave a message for us. My colleagues and I will get back to you. COVID's going to end soon. Blackpool is open for business and we're here to help. So my best wishes, stay safe, and I hope to speak to you again soon.